Welcome to the Registered Investment Advisor Podcast, where financial services marketing expert Seth Green interviews experts, executives, and top producers to share can't-miss tips on how they successfully manage their financial service firms, grow their businesses, create great relationships, and influence the industry. And now, here's your host, Seth Green.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Green. Today, I've got the good fortune to be interviewing Stephen Ambrosini of 2020 Financial Advisors. Your future is our focus. Stephen, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome.
Let's go back in time just a little bit. How did you get started in the business?
I was a waiter for years and realized that I was good at it, but decided that I wanted to get out into something else. So I started interviewing my customers, and they would say to me, wow, I am the greatest salesman in the world, and I make $25,000. And the next guy would say, I'm the greatest salesman in the world, and I make $50,000. And then the next guy said, I'm the greatest salesman in the world, I make $300,000. I said, you're the guy. So I followed that guy. It didn't necessarily work out as I had planned, but that was the guy. And the intent was to do it for a little while and get real sales experience and go do something else. And I did it. I stayed in it forever, and it's been fantastic.
All right. And did you start, where'd you work before 2020 FA?
I've been literally with the same company my entire career through different mergers and acquisitions. I started in 1978 and started with one firm called the Union Central Life, and I was with them back and forth. And then I left after 9 years to become a PPGA with Security Life at Denver, and then I left and went back to Union Central, and then I left and went with Acacia, and then Acacia merged with Emeritus, and then Emeritus merged with Union Central. So I literally came back to the same exact company I started with, and then they were merged one more time. So it's literally been the same company my entire career.
Well, not many of us can say that, so me included. So congratulations on that.
Yeah.
So the current iteration of 2020 Financial Advisors, who's an ideal client for you?
Well, if I can do you mind if I back you up for a tad and bring you about the history of 2020?
That'd be great.
I've been in the industry for my whole life, and was always working in the full service agencies, and then was in and spent 23 years of my life in Arizona. And Arizona was wonderful. I love living there, but it wasn't the last destination. And eventually we picked up and moved to California. And it was to answer the big question of where do you want to spend the rest of your life? And it wasn't in Arizona, and it was California. I grew up surfing. As you can see right there, I grew up surfing. I want to get back to it. And so I did. I moved into an existing agency and did that. But it was at a time that the industry was going through some changes, where they were getting away from the traditional agency, financial planning insurance agency, going into boutiques or individual PPGA type of offices where you were independently separate from the firm. And it was at the same time that was happening with a lot of my friends that I met throughout the industry at the same time. So we came together. 4 or 5 of us came together in 2000 and said, why don't we create our own thing? And we fortunately had the blessing of the carriers at the time and said, sure, we'll support it. So we created 2020 Financial Advisors at that time, 20 years ago. There's 15 different 2020s around the country. Mine was San Diego for many years until I moved up to Cardiff, North County, California. And so we have been a kind of an independent operation during that time, but with an insurance company broker dealer. Okay. Then about 6-7 years ago, we once again approached the carrier and said, we want to step away. We want to become a hybrid RIA, and we see that was where the future was. We see that's what we wanted to do. So once again, they gave us their blessing and let us separate from them as a hybrid. And we did, and we created the second company, which is 2020 Capital Management Inc. So that was kind of how it got started. And then we merged this year with another firm, another RIA, bringing our assets into theirs. And so that was the strategy.
All right. Well, congratulations. I'm sure the longer version, more detailed version of that story could be in a book somewhere. So what is the focus of 2020 FA now?
Well, it's independent offices that work with clients with one objective. How can we help you? How can we better your life? What are you trying to accomplish? We don't come with any particular agenda. This is what everybody does. So you're going to do the same thing. It's around a conversation. Seth, what are you trying to do? Let's talk about what you got. What are your concerns? What keeps you up at night? Where you're trying to go? How can we help you? And then here's 3, 4, 5 strategies to help get you there. We don't care which way you go. We're going to just lay them out and we're going to just present to you, and we work for you. So you're going to guide us as to what you're comfortable with, what's your risk tolerance, what are we trying to accomplish. Not necessarily the other partners the same way. I'm really insurance driven. I grew up in that world. I like the security, so I don't go away from that. So we often start with, let's talk about the family. Let's talk about protecting the partners. Let's talk about that. Let's get those eggs in a row. And then when we've got those in a row, let's talk about retirement. Let's talk about taxes. Let's talk about putting some money away in investments. It's kind of an individual strategy where we sit back and say, Seth, what are you trying to do? How can we help you? Bring us to what keeps you up at night, Seth? Why are we sitting here? Then that's going to take us.
That makes a lot of sense. What are some of the biggest challenges? You talked about what keeps you up at night. What are some of the biggest challenges you're finding those clients are needing help with?
What's fascinating, Seth, is with all the craziness in the world right now, whether it's the market, Russia, Ukraine, politics, whatever it may be, nobody calls. It's not like it was in the 80s, where the phone was ringing off the hook, where people were new to this investing world, the collective population was new to the investing world and did not know what these mutual funds were. Tell me again what that thing is. And so the phone rang nonstop when the markets were dropping. So today that's not happening. Now, is it not happening because we're such good planners and advisors that they knew this? I'm going to go with that as the answer. I like that answer. We educate. Is it also because, what are the other options, right? When you want to take your money away from the market and go elsewhere, where's it elsewhere? It's not like it's sitting in the bank earning 15% CDs anymore, right? So we have that. So what's going on in clients' minds right now? Will I have enough money to retire? What will my retirement look like? Will Social Security still be there? How will my kids be able to buy a house? Will I be able to retire with the money I'm putting into my 401k? So it's once again, it's those probing questions. Let's get you talking. Tell me what you're trying to accomplish, and then we'll address those concerns. And it's not shying away. I had a client this morning call me with some questions about a product we're using. And instead of promoting all the wonderful blue skies about how fantastic it's going to be, let's go to the foundation. Let's go to the contract. Let's look at the guarantees. And let's look at the worst case scenarios here. Let's really uncover this and bare bone it and see this is what it's going to look like. If we can live with that, then everything else is going to be fine. So that's how we tend to address it, if that answers the question.
It does. It did. And it makes a lot of sense. You brought up the market volatility, Ukraine, politics, all that stuff. Obviously, we're not asking for any specific investment advice on this podcast, but what are you telling clients now in terms of philosophy, outlook, stuff like that?
Well, I'm going to bring you right back to the financial planning world, right? Let's establish the foundation. We got the house, we got the insurance, we got the money in the bank, we got the health insurance, we got those pieces all in place. Now we're going to visualize that financial pyramid, right? So you got the foundations. I'm going to build, we're going to build until we have the foundation piece. We're not going to build the church on the sand, right? We want it on the rock, right? So we got that in place. Now we take it to the next level. Now we take it to the next level. So now we're going into the market. Now we're investing in funds. Now we're investing in ETFs. Now investing in annuities. Now investing in limited partnerships. We're going to do that stuff. So it brings it right back to why, let's imagine something happened. How's the income? Is it secure? Is everybody healthy at the house? The money's still solid? What's in the bank? What's the debts look like? So once we uncover that then lets us put the client's mind's at ease saying, okay, you're right. I'm okay. I'm going to be able to address these things. So thank you for bringing it up and we address it. I still don't like the fact that my money is exposed in the market. All right, so let's now look at some options. If the best thing for you is to move into T-bills at 4%, fantastic. Does that help us when inflation is 8%? If it helps you sleep, it does, right? That's the answer. That's the thing I often say to my clients. Go and use a sleep test. I don't care how great this investment is and I'm presenting to you. If you can't sleep with it, it's the wrong thing. So we're going to get out of it. We're not going to try to promote any one thing. Here's the option. I don't care which way we go. What's best for you? Let's try to how we address it. We try to get people talking. What are they concerned with? What's on their mind?
Absolutely. Talk a little bit about the team that you've built.
Well, I have a great team. And what's fascinating, what's wonderful about it is when the pandemic hit, we were already in front of this. My team, not necessarily, I might have dragged them along years ago, but I dragged them into the cyber world, the storage in the cloud and going paperless. And we were one of the first offices within the 2020 organization to go that route. You walk into my beautiful office in California, it's squeaky clean. You don't see anything, but if that's not a new occurrence, we've been doing that for years. So when the pandemic hit and we all had to start working from afar, we were already there. With the exception of me buying an assistant, a laptop, we were already there. So my team is a great team. My assistant, Dana, who I've seen twice in the last 2.5 years, is fantastic, and she's very thorough and really just has all of them do, in fact, have a very client-focused need. Good, deep relationships, helping people, understanding what the client's needs are, who they're about, and what we're trying to settle down. So there's my assistant, Dana, there's my assistant, Megan, there's my associate, Ben. Ben is also my son. He's a wonderful example of somebody who went out and tried to explore life and went into a musical direction, was a traveling, touring musician for many years. And then the pandemic hit and that business kind of went away, But Ben was always the plan to come in to follow Dad into the business, and the timing could have been perfect. So he's just has grabbed the bull by the horns and he's doing fantastic. Then in addition to that, I have my partner. So we have 15 locations with different specialists, and we're well connected through the technology we use. So I might have a very high net worth individual and some sophisticated estate planning. I bring in my partner, Samir Tucker, out of Costa Mesa. I have a client that has a need for maybe disability insurance. I bring in my friend Leonard Simpson in Sacramento. I have a client that needs some annuity business and guaranteed income. I bring in my buddy Howard Buck in Delaware. So everybody has a niche. It just depends on what role I'm trying to feed, that I'm trying to fill. We meet regularly. The partners all meet monthly for a good in-depth meeting. And then we break away every 6 months for 2-3 days and just pour into the business and help the business grow and really help each other. We had a very interesting experience about 15, 16 years ago. One of our partners got into trouble. And we jumped right in front of it, and we took care of it, we addressed it, and then we removed him from the company. But had we had some precautions in place, I think we would have caught it early. So as a result of that, one of the things that we do annually is we make all the partners come to the table with their net worth statements, their credit reports, and a plan. And we want to look at everything you got. So you got to come to the table, boy. Can be pretty fair, embarrassing if you're not ready for it. And we kind of drill into it. But the beauty of it is we made everybody stronger. We focused on your debt. We focused on your concerns and what you're trying to grow, what you're trying to accomplish. So the team could be tough. It could be a tough meeting with the partners. It's the come to Jesus meeting, But wow, it's been wonderful because we've helped each of the partners grow, and it's been quite successful. So it's a great team, wonderful team.
How are clients finding you?
Well, we've all been doing it for a long time. So we have a very steady source of our regular clients that we continually reach out to saying, hi, here we are, what do we need to do? They're referring us to us. That's a wonderful feeling that it took me a long time to appreciate this. The referral type of business was always an awkward thing for me because you just finished helping your client, and now you're going to ask for some additional help, and it was kind of a little awkward because I'm asking for one more thing, and why don't we just forget when we just sit over here because you want referrals, right? So it was hard for me until I realized that was good for the client because they want to help their friends. and you just help them and they want to help you. So we get a lot of referrals. I'm in a fantastic local community. It's a seaside community. It's a surfing community. Referrals are naturally coming in from that, because once again, I surf. So a lot of it is just keep your eyes open, paying attention to what's out there, working with your regular clients, and then natural referrals that are coming our way. And once again, though, people do it different. One of my partners, Karen Tyson, every month does a Social Security seminar at the local library. And it's just sometimes standing room only. So it just depends on what everybody wants to do and how they each market. That's what my method is. My method is, I jokingly call it my diving for dollars, because after I get all my busy work down, every day I'm dialing for, I'm dialing my clients, just checking in. Hey, what's going on? What's new? How can I help? Anything going on? Steve, I'm going to retire soon. Let's start talking about that. What's the income going to look like? Or I'm leaving my job and losing insurance. What am I going to do? Or I want to put my money away. What are those options? So you have this list of 60 people to call. You get through 15, and then you roll them over and you do it again the next day. So it's kind of steady activity.
Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
It's very encouraging and rewarding to be helping people. And we sell and we present intangible, right, Seth? Trust me, we're going to do this for you, and 25 years from now, this is going to be there, or if something happens to dad, this is going to be there, or you trust me, and dollar cost average, and put this money away, this is going to be there. Then we're going to take the income stream out. Well, I've been doing this for over 4 years. So all those years have gone by, and now we're delivering the promises that we made to you, right? We said we were going to do this, we're delivering. Man, is that rewarding. I told you we would do this. In my own example, my own personal example was my mother and father, where I promised mom and dad this is what it was going to do. We established a trust, and we had the insurance, and we had the annuities, and the investments, and retirement, and everything else. And then at the passing, this is how we're going to wrap up the estate. Well, mom and dad got it, and it went exactly according to plan. Exactly as I promised it would be. So it was very rewarding that it happened. When our clients are retiring, we promise them they're going to be getting so much a month, and we're turning on that switch, and it's to the penny. That feels really good. So it's very rewarding to be able to deliver things we promised. It feels good. And other thing too, Seth, I've learned so much to help me and mine, right? So I've benefited. I'm that type of advisor that has everything I tell you to get, right? So I'm presenting something to you. I'm very willing to open up my net worth statement, my insurance contracts, and show you I got the same stuff. So I've been able to help and build my own net worth because of what I've learned in the industry. I wish it was available to others.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. And we know your time is incredibly valuable. We greatly appreciate you spending some of it with us. For our folks who are watching or listening and want to learn more about Focus FA and all things Stephen, where should we send them?
Well, certainly, if I had control of the screen, I'll take them to my website. It is, what the website is, 2020fa.com. You'll see all the different locations. I'm in Cardiff, California. You can reach me through, are you giving me the screen? I think you just did. There you go, sir. Thank you so much. And there's beautiful Southern California, Cardiff by the sea. So that's where I am. There's the numbers. My email is S for Stephen, then my last name, Ambrosini, AMBROSINI at 2020fa.com.
All right. Well, this has been Seth Green with Stephen Ambrosini. Stephen, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Just one more thing. Seth is the best. Seth is the best. You guys don't know this, you should. This guy's the best.
Thank you very much for the shameless plug. We greatly appreciate that. Thank you, everybody, for watching or listening. We'll talk to you or see you next time.
Bye.